Welcome to Tiny Rails, the fun little game with a train. And here's my very pink train going past, or my very pink engine. And if I wait for the end of my train, you'll see a very pink caboose right at the back, right next to the camel car. I'm currently doing the Oceania quests, and last time around I met Nestor in Chicago, and he sent me to Prague to pick up some cargo, and then told me to pick it up and come back to him so he can then tell me where somebody else is who's in Africa, so I can then go hunt them down. Okay. However, I'm in Vienna and I seem to be picking up the cargo. As I travel across the ocean, my mind wanders with the thought of Blackwell in his hiding place. What are you doing? Oh, I'm just recording my memoirs. Memoirs? What for? I'm going to write a book about my adventures. We've done some incredible things. Am I a character in your book? Sure, you're my trusty sidekick. Oh. Well, your sidekick says we need to get this crate of chips back to Chicago. Okay, well, I'm in Vienna, I believe. And it told me to go to Prague to pick up these wonderful crisps. And yet I managed to, yes, pick up crate of crisp cargo from Prague, Czechoslovakia. And apparently, it now thinks Prague is Vienna, because I'm in Vienna, and that's Prague. Well, between the last episode and this episode, I took a slight detour. When I came into Europe, I went to my depot, picked up a few casino chips, went to Monaco, dropped a few I had off, so I've now only got 25 to go there, and dropped my whole cargo off. Now, where am I in comparison with the rest of the world? Let me zoom out slightly. Problem with Europe is there are no boats anywhere nearby for me to find an easy way back to anywhere, and it's a long trip across the Atlantic. So what I'm going to do this episode is just do a quick journey round Europe East, which is this area just here, highlighted in green, to pick up some candles, because I need a load of candles. Well, I need a couple of thousand candles, to be honest, for cargo requests for Copenhagen, somewhere in Russia, and I forget the other place. Barcelona, I think. I also checked between the last episode and this episode, and I'll show it in a second once. Okay, I've slowed down and cleared this cow out of the way. Right. The wonderful trainery. If I go to the engines, I was correct in my thinking. This is the pink engine, the mono engine, that I now have on my train. And it gives me plus 20 speed. Period. That's its bonus. Just like the previous engine I had, which was the to-go engine, also gives plus 20 speed. So, and the next engine I'm liable to pick up, if I can find it. Okay, I've got a wonderful little box in the way. I think it's that one. The Flying Scotsman. Complete the Africa Centre checklist, which I have done. I just haven't collected it yet. That will give me plus 20 passengers if using the Flying Scotsman engine and caboose. So it will slow me down, but it will give me plus 20 passengers, which may or may not be useful. I didn't know the Flying Scotsman was located in Central Africa. I thought it was in York Museum, but I could be wrong about that. It's been a long time since I've been to York's Train Museum. Very nice place if you're ever in York. Well worth stopping at the train museum, if you like trains, of course. And I've been to Swindon's Train Museum, which by comparison is not a patch on York's Train Museum. Just let me get rid of all the junk that I'm carrying from that obstruction that I don't need. Yes, I'm carrying very little cargo at the moment. Off we go to Sofia. I have plenty of space in my depot as well. I have space for almost 900 bits of cargo. As I say, I've been busy between a couple of episodes ago and the last episode. I was very busy going around fulfilling a load of cargo demands, and I fulfilled a heck of a lot of them. So I need to drop off these microprocessors somewhere in Russia at some point, and this oil in Africa. Oh, I've got a load of onions in there which I don't need, but I need more lumber. Oh yes, when I got the pink train, I also unlocked this Southeast Asia East factory, which has a demand for resources, which means I also need to get some more wood, because I've only got about 145 wood in my depot, and I'll pick up the TV screens along the way for that bit, but that will clear out a load more of my depot, about 500 bits of cargo in total, or close to 500, to pick up a new car. I don't know what that car is, but I'm sure I'll pick it up at some point. But literally I'm about 15 bits of wood short of the resources required. Got any candles here, or just the one? Yes, I'm going to have to do a lot of circuits of Europe East at some point to pick up the couple of thousand candles that I currently need, and who knows, I may need more when I unlock more of the map. My relatively new cars, this oak dumper car is still level 1, it's halfway to level 2. The Apple car is now level 2, and as is the Old West food car. The Apple car, once it levels up to level 3, will get moved towards the back of the train, where the other one is. And this car here, the luxury cargo car, will get moved to the front and then replaced with a different car, because it carries a total of 19 cargo, whereas the Apple car, once fully upgraded, carries a total of 23. I don't have any weight issues with the train, so I can move cars around as I so please. So the extra 4 cargo never hurts, to be bluntly honest. In fact, I wish I had about half a dozen Apple cars, but I don't, so I can but wish. Okay, I got a whole nother candle. Okay, let me set that pointed towards Bucharest. But yes, the start of this episode where I came into Vienna and it completed the quest must be a bug. Either that or they changed something and were pointing me to Prague. Maybe it would have worked if I'd come into Prague as well as Vienna. But there are a couple of little minor bugs like that in the quests. Just like whilst doing this long, horrifically long Oceania quest, I have seen reference to looking up Nestor and his friend, who we met in South Africa, which is quite a feat considering I haven't been to South Africa. So there are little quirks like that in the wonders of this game. But they're only minor. They haven't affected the overall playability of the game. Oh, another whole one candle. I'm getting them one at a time. It's going to take me quite a while to get the 2,000 or so candles that I need. Let me think, what else going on? Oh yes, as I'm recording this, it's the night of the Oscars, so I think this will probably get loaded one day after the Oscars. And I'm not going to watch the Oscars because I have little to no interest in watching award ceremonies. But, little quirky fact, the Oscars were actually created by one of the studio heads during the golden era of Hollywood. It might have been Jack Warner. It was one of the major studio heads, because he didn't want to give his actors and actresses pay rises, or given their demands for more money. So he created an awards ceremony because he thought stroking their ego would be as satisfying to them as more money, and it turns out he was right. And apparently, I can't remember when, I'm guessing late 30s, early 40s maybe, when the Emmys were created, the Hollywood Foreign Press, who created them, did basically the same thing. Not because they were going to have to pay actors and actresses, but because their films they weren't talking to the European press because they didn't really care. So they created the Emmys so the Hollywood Foreign Press could actually mingle and talk with actors and actresses, and they had a reason for actually getting their attention, which helped them write stuff for newspapers and reports and stuff. So basically the Oscars and the Emmys were both created for less than stellar reasons and have now become huge award shows based on reasons which had nothing to do with we want to create an award show because we think it would be nice. It was all slightly underhanded, and I think everybody knows the story of why the statue for the Oscars is named Oscar. If you don't, you might as well just Google that one. It's an old story. And I'm just replacing some of the jobs I've completed. Apparently I completed quite a lot because I've got to replace quite a lot. Okay, any more? Need one more. That one. Alrighty. Now I am happily at Budapest, which has 5 candles. That makes a nice change from 1. Yes, I want to go to Bratislava. We'll just head towards Prague. Yes, at the moment I'm not doing a lot between episodes. Last time round I took a slight detour and got some casino chips for Monaco and dropped off what little cargo I was carrying in one of my depots, the European depot, just because I figured why not, it wasn't going to take me that far out my way. But this time I'm going to pick up these candles, then send my train back towards England and the transatlantic crossing so I can get to Chicago. All I'm interested in from the cargo perspective in this part of the world is candles. I have no use for sheep, sausages, or the various other things that have come up at this point. I may have a use for them when I open up some more of the map, but for right now I know I have no actual demand for such cargo anywhere in the currently available world. Let's think. Well, I can't tell that joke because it's highly inappropriate, so... Oh! I don't know if you're aware of the radio show called The Unbelievable Truth, hosted by David Mitchell on BBC Radio 4. Also available on the BBC iPlayer. Okay, there is no candles in this place. That's a bit of a disappointment, but I will live with the disappointment. However, in one of the recent episodes, they came out with a fact which happened to be true, and you can look this up on Google if you so desire. There was a survey in America, and 12% of the respondents in the survey believed that Joan of Arc was Noah's girlfriend, as in Noah from the Ark in the Bible. This was a survey, I believe, of American high school, either just graduated or graduating students, or high school seniors, something like that, which, yes, I know the word Ark is in Joan of Arc's title, but how could you possibly get through to your late teens and think that's a fact? There again, there was a survey and 42% of Americans think that the moon landing was faked. I'm not having a go at America, these are just stuff that comes up in that radio show. And because it's an English-speaking radio show, to connect with their audience, they tend to come up with a lot of facts about America rather than facts about Eastern Europe or Russia or various other parts of the world. So I do tend to remember quite a few of them. Okay, there's a few candles in Prague. So let me send it towards Edinburgh. So I live in America, and I actually get on with quite a lot of Americans, and there are things about America that I don't like. There were things about England that I didn't like. But there are things about America I do like. However, sometimes you wonder about the intelligence level of some of them. There again, having met quite a few of my own countrymen in England, you wonder about the intelligence level of quite a lot of them as well. But the Joan of Arc, 12% of the people surveyed thinking that Joan of Arc was Noah's wife, that one stuck in my mind because it's so ludicrous. I couldn't believe it was true. I told an American, he went and looked it up on the internet and found the survey, or found the report of when the survey was done, and he was stunned. So it's amazing what little facts that come up. And if you listen to The Unbelievable Truth, and I would highly recommend listening to The Unbelievable Truth, you too can learn these amazing facts. And it is amazing which facts are actually true about some things and which they completely make up on that show. The idea is they have 4 panelists and they read a short lecture, and buried in that lecture are 5 things that are true, which the other panelists have got to try and spot and figure out which is true. And the rest of the lecture is complete and utter lies. So you get a lot of lies and you sat there thinking, that complete and utterly, that can't be true. Then they come to the end and tell you, which ones were missed. And it's amazing some of the facts on some of the subjects which are actually true. It's quite educational in its own little way if you like trivia type facts. I do actually need the T for one reason, so I'll collect that while I'm there. And I have quite a lot of trivia buried in my brain for various reasons. So, there you go. That's the trivia fact you can amaze your friends with. The 12% of people in a survey of high school, I think it was graduating or high school high school seniors, thought that Joan of Arc, I don't know why I did that, that wasn't what I was aiming to do. I meant to do clean the train and repair it. Right. Now I'm in Brussels. Any T in here? Yep, I'll click the T. I need that for city in China. Yeah, that fact about the survey and the Joan of Arc being thought to be Noah's wife just was so outrageous that it stuck with me for it was about 10 days ago when I heard the episode, or listened to the episode with that fact in it. Some things are just completely and utterly strange, and that fact is one of them to me. Okay, I'll shut up now. As I come into Amsterdam, once I leave Amsterdam, I will end this episode. Yep, nothing in Amsterdam I want. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. Next time, the next episode will be me coming into Chicago to meet good old Nestor again, and hopefully he'll tell me that whichever person I'm hunting for, or looking for to help me hunt down Blackwell, where they're located in Africa. And Africa, strangely enough, depending which side of Africa, is actually easier to get to than Eastern Europe was. So we'll see what happens. Okay, as always, I hope you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you down the track for more Tiny Rails in the near future. Cheerio for now.